All right, it's time to do the Monday crossword on February 16th. This one is by one of the new editors for New York Times on the editorial team. This one's by Ian Livingood, who has made puzzles crosswords in the past. And right now he's in charge of the Pips, which is the new game, sort of a logic-based game using dominoes, which is also part of the New York Times games. But we're going to be doing one of his Monday crosswords, and I think it would be a fun sort of challenge to try to restrict myself to a very strict theme or a certain scheme of solving. Just because I kind of want to like demonstrate ways in which, like, if you're a newer solver, you'd be able to approach solving these kinds of puzzles. Because there are loads of clues. You might not know where to start. Um, I've always made a point previously that I'm a big fan. I was a big fan of fill in the blank clues, especially on Mondays. And so that's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with just looking at the fill in the blank clues, and starting from there, whichever ones I can fill in, I then have to look at all the clues. I can only, after I've looked at the fill in the blanks, then I can look at the clues that cross those, particularly at those that cross with a consonant. Consonants that usually give me a bit more information than vowels. And I'll just kind of, I mean, I will still be talking about my process for this whole thing, but I kind of wanted to preface this by saying that I plan to be doing this sort of straight, but I also kind of want to give a sort of demonstration on how you could go about solving this. If you, say, don't have the same level of trivia knowledge or at least crosswordese knowledge that, someone that has seen all of these answers before might have. So one thing I will note first is that we have these special squares that have a sort of dark something shaded in. So that's going to be part of the theme, and I don't see anything that reveals anything. This might be one of those cases that doesn't have something like that. Yeah, I mean, just looking at the theme, the list of clues, there doesn't seem to be a theme revealer. Usually I'm looking for ones that have very long descriptions, but I don't see anything with that in this. But no matter, I'm still want to look at the fill in the blanks to that. So this is a phrase that says blank to that, and it's four letters. This one is amen to that. Pinot, okay, this is kind of a wine. This could be noir, it could be blanc, and it looks like this could be noir. For kind of, I mean, this means black, but I think this is like a red wine, I believe. Then let's see. Man, this is actually kind of a tricky day to start out with these fill in the blanks because these are actually quite difficult. These are blank planetarium. So this is some kind of name that I'm not familiar with. Usually I would be um usually I would be more like sort of open to these kind of things, but these just seem to be kind of proper nouns that I just haven't heard of. Usually I'm talking about things like um what is it? Like sort of phrases, common phrases, not necessarily proper nouns. But I think this one is a She-Hulk, and um, I think it's just a female variation of the Hulk, and I think there might be a spin-off in that in Marvel or something. I'm just gonna go with that. And I also don't know what this is or what this is, but I got these three. Um, if I only had one, I think I'd still be happy with that. But let's just take a look at this one for instance. I'm gonna look at this crossing the H here as well. So to change gears, just in general means to shift, I suppose. Change gears, you would say shift gears. I don't know, you would just say we shift. Perhaps it's more like a change of plans, you would just shift. Possibly. Let's take a look at this one actually. I got two letters here. This might be a good thing here. Okay, so frantic scrambles. There's gonna be an S here because it's a plural. It might not always be the case, but you would have an S here in most cases, unless you have something like perhaps a two-word phrase. Um, and maybe this is the S here, and there might be something else here. Maybe like birds of prey, for instance, like bird of prey. Like the last letter is not an S, but this probably does seem like it. So corrosion signs, another S here, I imagine. And what is this? Religious offshoots. Oh, well, okay. I also know this is sects. I'm just gonna put sects here. Let's see, stylish. Okay, stylish is chic. Then this looks like this is something that I might be able to get. Same thing with this. There are quite a lot of letters here. So, possible cybercrime informally. This FT makes me think this is theft, and this looks like this would be ID theft. Identity theft, informally, would be ID theft, which makes sense. So CH blank, let's take a look at this one. To drink very quickly, this is to chug. And we're almost done with this one. Corrosion signs, these are rusts. I suppose that rust could be a noun, as a plural noun, rusts, multiple rusts. Let's just go with that. I think that's right. Okay, let's take a look at this. Shortfall of exports vis-a-vis imports. I'm not really sure what that is right now. Let's actually take a look at this one. I got a lot of letters for that. Frantic scrambles. Typically, when you have these long answers, they're split into multiple words, which is quite something what that crossword constructors prefer to have. This one looks like this is mad dashes. And look at this one. So what is this one now? Really, really cool. This one also looks like it's a two-word phrase. This could be badass. Something ass, I imagine. Cool ass is not even a phrase. No, that's not right. Let's look at this one. Dull-witted sort. Dull-witted sort. Can't think of what that is. Let's take a look at this one maybe. Computer operating system developed by Bell Labs. Well, I will say it's kind of unfair that I know this, but yeah, it's kind of a trivia because I'm in computer science also. So it's Unix by Bell Labs. Then this one seems to be giving me some kind of other things. This kind of number on an old business card. In this case, could be fax. Okay, so I feel like maybe I should start looking for something that's a bit more obvious. Because these ones are kind of like I did kind of need special knowledge for these. But let's see what else I could. I probably would know. Is this national? DC's National Gallery. I would have thought there was like park or something. But let's look at something that is more perhaps well known. Maybe not necessarily fill in the blank, but perhaps there is something that we can just start off with that is kind of like most people should know. So, um, new wave band improvised in jazz to eschew to eschew. Let's try going somewhere on the opposite side of the grid this time. So, high quality reds and whites. Let's just put an S at the end. It might not be an S, but I'm just gonna go with that. A Scottish girl. A Scottish girl. That's a lass. All right. So let's see. I can also check to see if this should be an S at the end, and this is an S actually. So, occasions for blowing out candles on cakes informally. This one I think we'll say because it's informally, we're going to shorten it to B days for birthdays. Then what is this? A Y at the end. This might give me something. So to follow directions. If you follow someone's directions, you might obey them. Then what is this one? Org for the Raptors, but not the Blue Jays. I don't know what the Blue Jays are, but the Raptors are the Toronto Raptors, which is in the NBA. This one also gives me quite a few things. Early leader in instant messaging. So this is AOL. Then this one should also give me actress Kendrick. I believe it would just be Anna Kendrick. I know there was also another person named Anya, for Anya Taylor-Joy, also an actress. But Anna seems to be right in this case. Then let's see. High quality reds and whites. Oh, okay, so this is wine, some kind of wine. And I don't know what this word is, but I finally put it together that reds and whites are referring to wines. Now, this WB is interesting. So, what is this? Where clams are served. I don't know where clams are served. Let's go somewhere else. Reader's Digest or Golf Digest. I want to find something that's a bit more, perhaps a bit more obvious. I mean, I have sort of mixed feelings on proper nouns, because sometimes when you have names, you either know or you don't know. But I feel like this one I'm going to give it to myself because I do feel like it's something that enough people should know because Shrek is somewhat relevant. I don't know, it's somewhat still talked about, but you have Mike Myers who voiced Shrek. Then I'm gonna take a look at the ones next to it. I have a rep's counterpart, and this rep is referring to, in this case, it looks like it's Republican, so the counterpart to that is Dem for Democrat. Okay, let's take a look at this D here. To linger on as a topic is to dwell on a topic. Then do any of these ones give me anything? A flock that honks. Okay, so a flock that honks. Let's talk about like what would you call a group like a flock that honks, and looks like this is geese. And I still don't know what this is, so I don't know that yet. Voting spots. You might vote at a poll. Then what is this? An art supporter. Okay, this one is I think on a trickier side of Mondays, but this is an easel because it's the sort of stand that you put a painting on. It's an art supporter, not necessarily a person that supports, but an object that supports. Okay, makeover. This one's also kind of tricky because it could be a noun or a verb, but this one looks like it's redo. So in that case, well, I suppose makeover could be interpreted both as a noun and a verb. It is always a bit tricky when you have a clue that is somewhat ambiguous, whether it's an adjective, verb, noun. It's always a bit tricky. Okay, let's see. Um, what's something else that I think is kind of fair? Horse's ancestral line. I have no idea, even myself. I don't know what that is. Narrow way between city buildings. Okay, this one is an alley. Not heavy. It could be light, I suppose. Then what is this? To thicken as cream. Well, thickens with an S should be an S at the end. And home for pigs is a sty, a pigsty. That's what they say. A necklace fastener. So this could be a clasp. And a textile city, northeast of Paris. I'm just gonna skip that for now, but I think I have an idea what it is. To stared rudely. So I'm thinking that's an ed, most likely an ed. Then that gives me most letters. Then you might be able to run through the alphabet, but this should most likely be a vowel. In this case, it's ogled, for sort of stared rudely, sort of leered at someone, sort of salaciously. To thicken as cream could be clot. I suppose clots. Then a whole bunch. Let's come back to that one. Horse's ancestral line. Horse's ancestral line. Um, the only thing I can see right now is like pedagogy, but I don't see why that would be the case. So let's come back to that as well. Let's see if we can find something else to latch onto. One giving support during childbirth. Okay, let's skip that one as well. Stadium cheer. You know what? I'm gonna give this one to myself because I think it's like I've seen this so much like in the month that I've been doing videos that I feel like it's sort of one of those things that you would see just come up over and over again. But Ole for a stadium cheer seems to be right. Sort of in a Spanish chant. To droop. Oh, I'll also say that's a sag to sag. Then what else is there? To balance through. Sorry. Why did I say balance? To glance through. To see? I don't know. I feel like something else that's going on that I should mention with regards to the theme. It seems like this is all of these are ID, and I could be wrong about this, but I'm just going to put these IDs right here. Um, and hopefully that's going to give me something good at the end. Um, let's see what else there is. Conga for one. It's a kind of dance, like a conga line. Perhaps a conga is maybe it's just conga line. I think it is just line. Okay, let's see what else there is. Um, let's go through something else. Charge for airing a commercial. So, error charge for airing a commercial. Give 0 stars in a review. One giving support during childbirth. These ones are, I suppose, are still somewhat tricky. But a hearty embrace. It's a hug. And I think the U over here suggests it says hug. And we have something over here. Fictional lab assistant with a hunchback. Igor. I think this is Notre the Hunchback of. No, it's not. Is this Frankenstein with a hunchback? I think. So what is this? A dull-witted sort is some bird. Dodo bird, I suppose. Dodo bird, late night kitchen visit. You might raid the fridge. Okay, I suppose at this point I'm kind of just like pulling words out, but I don't know. I feel like um, this one actually just happens to be kind of a tricky Monday, so maybe I'll just kind of go through these like I normally would. I don't know. I would like to sort of come up with a system for how I would actually solve Mondays in a way that sort of restricts my ability to look at. I suppose I could go back to what I used to do before, where I only was allowed to look at the across clues, like an across only solve. I suppose that could also make it a bit interesting. Um, yeah, I'm not really sure what I can really do with these kind of things. Like some of these are really just like you have to see puzzles enough to be able to get these. Like some things like this rock subgenre, you can sort of one of the first things I think of is emo for a rock subgenre. And then what else is there? Like for instance, this one, to eschew. It's just a word that comes up somewhat often, only in crosswords. Really, it's one of those that's typically more common vocabulary. To eschew is to avoid something. A stench. A stench is an odor. What is this? To improvise in jazz is vamp, and this is NPR. Okay, then this is this long-time comic strip set in a medieval kingdom. The Legend of Id, or maybe the Legend of I don't know. Uh, the Legend of Oz, the Wizard of Oz. Sorry, wait, is it Mad Dashes? Why is this the Wizard of Id? Is that what it is? National Zoo. Sorry, I don't know why I didn't think of that. National Zoo. That's right. My dude. Teen wearing. Where is my dude from? My dude is bro. Okay. I feel like I could have gotten that before as well. But let's take a look at this one. Top tier. Something that's top tier might be the best. Um, MIT mystery. Is this a mystery hunt? Um, it could be. Let's take a look at this. Oh, high quality is fine wines. Okay, then a charge for airing a commercial is an ad fee. Yeah, I suppose I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just not really like following through with my promise to just sort of go with common things. But I mean, I don't know. It is kind of hard to figure out like um what is it like sort of how far I can take things like because if I see words I sort of will just fill them in. It's hard to it is definitely hard for like someone that's been doing this for many years to figure out like what is or isn't actually like commonly known to people that don't do crosswords. Um, I am trying to sort of make Mondays a bit. I guess I'm trying to make Mondays somewhat accessible because that really is the point of Mondays. It's meant to be a gentle introduction. And I suppose I haven't really met my goal if I fail to do that. Anyways, let's just try to continue on with this. What else is there? A teen wearing heavy eyeliner. Perhaps it could be a goth. And when you get a lot of letters, it does make it a bit easier. Things just fall into place. But let's take a look at ones where I have a lot of letters filled in. So a hearty embrace, in this case, is a bear hug. Then what is this one? A physique, slangily, could be bod. You got a nice bod. You got a dad bod, for instance. Roman poet. This one is kind of tricky because you need to know both. You need to know either the new wave band or you need to know this Roman poet. But this Roman poet is Ovid, and I personally have not read Metamorphoses or any other of Ovid's works, but I do know that Ovid is a name because of crosswords. Surprise, surprise. New wave band with the hit Whip It. I don't know. But this one, Fiddlesticks, is Drat. It's kind of a minced oath, sort of old timey, sort of along the same lines as egad, which is another word that I only know from crosswords. Then this one, a textile city, is Lille because this happens to be pedigree. An ancestral line in general is a pedigree. It doesn't just have to be a horse, I think. Okay, capital of the gem state. So this ID is Idaho, and the capital of Idaho is Boise. Then give 0 stars in a review, say, is to abhor something. Okay, so now this is a doula, one giving support during childbirth. Where Clams are served. I've never heard of this, but I imagine this is a raw bar. A bar like serving raw things. I suppose clams could be served there. Don't know what exactly this is, in real life. Maybe I'll check it out, but maybe I won't. I don't know. Something to noodle on is an idea, perhaps. Close by is near. Okay. Glitterati is glitterati refers to sort of like the elite, uh, in a way like sort of like the fashionable elite. Not sure what this is. What was trying to get me to get to. One of the Leeward Islands in the Caribbean. Leeward Islands in the Caribbean is one clue. Um, what was the thing called the ABC Islands? I think one of them was like it was like Aruba, Bahamas, Caribbean. I think it was like a group of sort of like vacation islands. And I remember there was this one island starting with an A, and its domain name, like the country code of this country, is AI, which just happened to be really lucky because, of course, when all the AI companies started to get domain names, they had to really register it with this country, and the country got a lot of revenue from it. Um, I think it made up actually quite a significant percentage of its GDP because it's such a small island nation. Same thing happened with Tuvalu when Twitch TV came out because Tuvalu's country code is TV. And I think it made even as much as 10% of its GDP at one point. So just very lucky things that happen like that when you have country codes that happen to line up. Was this um, one of the Leeward Islands in the Caribbean? It might not be Line. Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but I know that there is an island that starts with an A. But maybe I should just look elsewhere and see if I get more letters. Be knotted up is to be tied up. Then what is this? Agenda bullet point is an item. You have an item on the agenda. So what is this? A conga for one. Conga could be a drum. Sorry. It's a bongo or a conga. You have a conga line, but this is a drum. Yeah. A place to get a rub down is a spa. Oh, yes, this is what it was. It was Antigua, I think. Antigua was the one whose country code was AI. With that N, I think it threw me off, but this is right. An hourly pay rate is a wage. Then what is this? Glitterati is WDS is strange. In to glance through is scan. Glitterati is in crowds. In crowds? Is that a word? I've never heard of that word, but sure. Let's see. I'd go either way. I'd go either way. Okay. It's just okay is meh. And then Reader's Digest or Golf Digest in brief. These are magazines, and that's a mag. And so this is a trade gap, and this is Adler Planetarium, and Adler is a name, I suppose. All right. Let me just take a look at what's going on with this ID, because, well, I suppose the thing is that these IDs are just like just four very different senses of the word ID. It's a very simple theme in this respect. I haven't seen anything quite like this previously, but normally, I would expect a theme to have a theme revealer. This time it has id, or just the letters ID, but in four very different senses of it. So you have Boise ID, ID standing for Idaho. You have ID standing for identification. And then you have id, just being a name of a place, I suppose. The Wizard of Id. And I don't know if it predates the Wizard of Oz, but it just happened to be like a place name, so that's cool. Just pronounced id. And then this is I'd, as an I apostrophe D. I'd go either way. Yeah, I feel like I've gone through all of these clues, and I would like to say, like, I suppose at the end I kind of went back on the sort of a challenge to go about this with trying to be restrictive as possible of like the sort of way that I solved this. I kind of eventually just kind of gave up on that idea and just sort of started solving it normally. But I would like next time we have a Monday to try a different strategy perhaps on how I should solve it in a way that at least somewhat simulates like a new solver's experience because I think that's sort of I think if any day is a good day to sort of showcase that, I think it'll be a Monday. Um, because if I just kind of go through like I normally would, it would just be very fast. And I somewhat enjoyed doing the across solves in the sort of beginning of recording videos, but it didn't seem representative of the actual experience. It seemed like I was still trying to metagame it in a sort of unfair way, in a way that an actual solver would not be able to do. So I don't know. I will definitely think about it for next week. What I should do with the Mondays. I sort of did want to try doing the fill in the blanks because I thought the fill in the blanks would be somewhat easy. It just happened to be that, these ones were a bit difficult actually. I don't think any of these fill in the blanks were that well known, to be honest. Some of them were quite obscure, especially this MIT mystery hunt, which required you to know a few things, I suppose. Like, you needed to sort of know like puzzle hunt as a concept, which I've heard of puzzle hunt. I didn't know mystery hunt was the actual word genuinely. Um, and I also didn't know this name, the Adler Planetarium. Um, I mean, I'm sure some people would know, but I just happen not to know. And I don't know. I like blanked on this one, the National Zoo. So maybe next time will be a bit more successful. I suppose next time I could also try just doing a very quick scan across all the words and seeing which ones I think would be well known. I don't know. I'll definitely keep exploring ideas for what to do on Mondays. But I hope that like this was somewhat helpful. Maybe at some point you were able to get these um, clues before I wrote them. I don't know. Um, yeah, but that's it for today.